Okay, so
Speaking of which, should every member of the group talks?
it would be, yeah, ideally it would be good, yeah. It's a practice for all to present, okay?
حقيقي.
Okay, so we start now, so please if we can just keep a bit silent. Guys, okay, so we start now. So that's team 1.
Hello.
Tell us what you're working on and
We're team 1 here. First of all, good afternoon. We are working on, you see in this beautiful park, we have 2 houses to check the thermal comfort at night. Construction, form and planning. We had an approach where we went and saw the houses together. We will put some notes and we put some sketches for you. So please, if you have any question during the presentation that we have, keep it for the end so we can move on with our ideas. Maybe you have a question, we will answer it later on. So now I'll leave you my friends and companions, Morit and John Hand. They'll explain the houses for you guys. Of course, we'll be joining them to answer the questions and do some more explanation. So Morit, John, please.
Yeah, okay, the first house we visited was the Kenningston house, and it's the red one over there. It's an L-shaped house, and as you can see, the corner is facing the north, so up the hill. Well, the first thing we took notice of was the walls were 1 meter thick, so it's quite big, and it takes its part in the thermal heat. So when it, I put
Thermal mass.
thermal
It's a
mass,
thermal
yeah.
mass.
So when there's a lot of heat in the room, mass will take all the heat up, and after when it's cold, it sends the heat back out. It's a 19th century building, and the windows on the north side are quite big for the northeast side, which is quite strange because that's where the sun comes up in summer. So when it comes up over there, all the heat will come in the room, so the rest of the day will be warm. Another thing is that the windows on the south side, they are smaller, so this may be an advantage for the summer and the winter, of course. Downstairs, as you can see, the ceiling is very low, so the heat can rise and go to the upper section. The downstairs, there were only the functions of in the morning. So when people went in the evening to upstairs, the heat will also go upstairs at the end of the day.
Can I just add something? So we don't miss the point. First of all, we have noticed that they have separated the morning activities from the evening activities. Okay, so the morning activities are in downstairs, where we have only 2.5 the ceiling height, which is only 2.5 meters, while we have the evening activities at the first floor with higher ceiling, let's say. The point of this is, like in the morning, maybe here in the section, that you have the sun is going inside. Okay, so we have most of the heat is stored at the downstairs. Okay, and then the walls, the thick walls, the thermal mass is storing that heat. And at night, the heat is going up, and then we are using it when they are upstairs at the first floor with the evening activities.
And from there are also big chimneys in the house, and all the living areas and the bedrooms are next to the chimney, so all the warmth is going through the walls and sending it out to the living rooms, the kitchen, and the dining rooms, and also the bedrooms. I think this is it. And on the south you have some other spaces which are less important for the house, so they can face the heat in the summer, so instead of the living areas, so they don't have the problem.
Okay, additional thing is that for the section of the windows, as you can see here, this is a section for the plan, okay, of the window, that you have 45 degrees angle of the edges of the window, because we have thick walls with almost 1 meter. So if you have only straight lines, you have less, let's say, sun going inside, sun radiation. So with 45 degrees, you have bigger opening from the inside, so then you have more light or heat going inside. So that would help to have more sun in the morning and store more heat for the thermal mass walls.
the roof has a very high pitch for it not to allow rainwater retention. It's a very rainy area, so most of the water is drained down.
Basically, we're talking about heat. The main idea of the house here is storing heat in winter day and letting it out in the winter night. So whenever you have a thick wall with a high thermal mass, it's collecting the heat and conducting it inside the house. So that's why you have the chimney. When during the day or during the night, when they're cooking, when they're making the house warmer, the material of the chimney itself, the stone and the clay inside and the mud, it's storing the heat. And it's throwing it inside the building. So this is the main idea which we focused on, and we're trying to explain it to you through this section in the plan, which is thermal mass, which I think in this country is the best idea for winter heating inside and keep it thermal comfort. And we took some readings, I think, for the temperatures. You have them with you?
Yeah. But maybe, yeah, I don't think it's that important right now. We can go to the next house because we're short of time. The second house is much older. It's from the 15th century.
I think John would like to talk about it.
Do you have any? It's called Andrew's Food.
Lost in this direction, and it's only about 2.5 meters high, and it has a single floor, and the bedroom is in the north, and the shade is for the animals is in the south, and they have entrance on the in this side, the northeast side, and the window have two big windows for the shade in the southwest. This wall, the northwest and the southeast has no openings, and the kitchen is in the middle, and the window and it can warm the bedroom in the night. So the wind and the entrance is in there.
The material of the floor,
The
the material of the ceilings.
The material its structure is made by wood.
Tell them, not me. You have to tell them.
It's by wood, and the construction maybe the can made of I don't know how to say.
So did you compare between both, in what way did you compare between both houses or both cottages?
Yeah, the last house has walls which is only made out of wood, so it's a lot thinner. And you could,
More lightweight construction?
yeah, it's very light.
Did you take some measurements
Yeah,
inside?
that was what we wanted to talk about. The first one, it was very cool that inside the house. But the second one, it let more heat into the house because there were gaps between the timbers. And the first one, it was just a massive strip of conductivity. The material was very light.
Of course, so what was the temperature inside?
This one was about, I thought 22 degrees inside. The other one was around 19 degrees.
Yeah, and the good point is like for the first one, like we had almost 9 to 10 degrees difference between outside, the surface outside and inside the wall, and that means that the wall is really storing a lot of heat, which is an indication of the thermal mass of that wall.
So how would you then transfer that knowledge to exploring how it would work in the winter?
I think it's going to store it, and in the evening it's, you'll
We're
have that.
talking here mainly about internal heat gains. Because, like, I think there was a mistake said that the sun is actually the sun is coming from here. In winter, the sun is low. So here we notice that they have more windows here. So it's trying to gain as much as the external heat as possible. And downstairs, the activity on the sides of the room, they're all you can feel inside. When you walk inside, it's hot. So there's an internal heat gain. That's why when my colleague here said the day movements are all downstairs, the cooking, the sitting, the eating, the movement, everything is down. It's even taking the heat from the person themselves, from any activity downstairs. So I think it's mainly here to allow internal heat gain, not the external heat gain. Because we agree both, but mainly because when you have 3 chimneys in a small house like this, they're really trying to maximize the internal heat.
But the chimney, I mean, you're touching on the chimney, you've not really mentioned the heat source. The main source of heat. Well, no, it's the fire. I mean, it'll cook on the fire,
exactly.
but the fire has a property which is you can't keep it alight all night. No matter what fuel you use, mid-evening, late evening, you stop putting the fuel on, it will stop working. So there's another component of the thermal store, which is the mass of the chimney breast, keeping the heat of the fire going long beyond the point where it's giving useful heat. You notice that the bedroom is up against that same
You notice actually that the chimney of the kitchen is going upstairs,
Yeah.
and the bed is exactly up against it. So actually, this is what we're talking about, the daily activities which we noticed. Like they're trying to maximize the heat, the internal heat gain, and even the partition of the slabs. They were just made of wood, so some of the internal heat gain will not be lost in the slabs, and will transfer to the walls. It will just be conducted to the inside of the building.
Have you taken any notes about the air movement inside each of those?
I've seen it. The problem, the thing is with these houses, they're not open to each other. These houses, they're all closed. Like this one has no opening to this side, this one has
There's
no cross ventilation. So I think what they were trying is, you have something here, let's heat it by itself. Heat it by itself or conduct it through the walls itself. But here, it will not, of course, it will not be effective like here. That's why here they have a storage and a workspace. I think it's a shed or a storage area. It has some tables inside of it.
Yeah, so the living room has its own chimney, the dining room and the kitchen.
And they're all connected together with this atrium in the middle.
Yeah, but we have, just because we have seen that for the observation, we have to notice negative and positive aspects. For the negative things, we believe that even the size of the windows should be maybe a little bit bigger, it should be, for such a climate here.
And for the daylight factor, of course, we are in the noon here. It's dark.
Very
Dark
dark.
inside. So maybe the size of the windows should be bigger, or and maybe more openings from the south side, or
I think, don't forget, this is in the old times, so I think they had more privacy
But
issues.
with more openings as well, you stand the problem of losing the heat as well.
Yeah.
Heat loss through
This is
the...
what I was going to. If it was our time, we would say lower U value, higher, but at that time they didn't have this technology. So I thought, okay, we'll make smaller windows so we'll not lose heat. Of course, it's different times, different technologies.
Well, there is also another issue. You didn't mention anything about the structure of the building itself. And also the partition you referred to, especially the ceiling, made out of wood. The wood is very light. It's not just thermal mass, as you were saying.
We didn't say about mass, we just said that some of the
Circulation of the air, yeah, I've got that. But the main reason why the windows are small, and the reason why they're using timber, is because the structure is made in a way that you can't open big doors, big windows, and use very heavy slabs, because otherwise we'll collapse.
It's load bearing, so
So it's not just privacy. Actually, around that house there was absolutely nothing. Maybe some animal. So it's not it's not privacy issue. It's mainly structural issues that are related
Actually,
to
I've
that.
noticed some beams made out of stone inside.
Yep.
Especially on top of the kitchen.
The doors, yeah.
On top of the doors,
Yes.
I've noticed this.
Structural
Structural,
issues, yeah.
but we saw them also, they're very thick. So if you notice here in the section, we're saying that the heat is going also through the slabs, which are making the, let's say, the wider frame of the building. But inside the middle. So I'm not really a structural engineer, but I think, like you said, it's correct, yeah, for the structural part.
okay, thank you very much. We would have liked to go on and on and do the discussion, but it's 12 minutes already, so
Wow.
we give them a clap. Okay, team 2. Team 2. You team 3. That's okay.